All right, so you guys, let's talk about the team here a little bit, Scott. You guys are on a little bit of a roll, playing some better defense. When was the last time the Wiz have held 3 straight opponents under 100 points?
I'm going to be a contrarian, though. I'm not buying the better defense. Even Markieff Morris said they're playing lesser opponents, so maybe he can say that they're playing better defense, and maybe it's true. Scott, you can talk about that because I'm not necessarily buying it.
Well, I mean, we are playing better defense. They're NBA teams. They're teams that haven't had good records, but we're still playing defense. We've had, I'm not going to say a history, but we've had some games where we played down to the opponent's record, and that's not good. It's not a good thing to do. You got to be a professional every night. But the last 3 games, we're holding them to 90 points. I thought the key last night was also their passing. Brad has 7 assists. John has 9. We have 30 as a team. Pass and defend. That's what we've been talking about. Just keep it simple, pass and defend.
So what do you do after the first quarter and they give up 32 and you're like going, here we go again? Do you really lay into the guys or do they recognize it sort of on their own? What's that dynamic like?
I think you have to put a couple of swears in the cookie jar, I guess, the swear jar, just to get them going. The bottom line is, there's going to be ebbs and flow of every NBA game. You just you want to have a better start than we had last night. It was unfortunate we didn't come out with the deep. We didn't guard the 3-point line, and we've been doing a pretty good job with that all year. I mean, they came out and just about made every 3. But you have to be consistent on how you play, and hopefully we could take it on the road. We have a tough opponent in Miami who we did not beat last year at all, so it's not going to be an easy game for us.
And then yesterday, your second unit actually picked it up. Like, they didn't just hold the fort. They actually built a lead and extended the lead. Mike Scott in particular has impressed me. Talk about his play.
I love him. I love how he brings that professionalism to our team. He just works. He comes in every day and works. Him and Keith have a nice little routine together. They work before practice. He doesn't say much. He's a pro, and the guys really enjoy playing with him. I didn't realize he can make shots from the perimeter as well as he has, and hopefully that continues. But he knows how to play. He passes the ball. He defends. He can guard bigger players. He's pretty good guarding, switching on when we're guarding smaller players. But he's tough, and I love that. I love that about him.
Well, I know you weren't here 2 years ago, but the Wizards really tried to force Chris Humphries to become a stretch 4, and Mike Scott to me is actually perfect in that role. And I could see you playing him at the 5 when teams go smaller.
Yes, yes. I mean, exactly. He's the perfect stretch 4. Nowadays players, he's like that perfect blend of inside outside, can post up smaller players. He's another version of Keith. We can play both of those guys at the 5 if we want to go small, which a lot of teams are doing this now. It's like some teams are playing 5 guards that are 3 guards and 2 small forwards.
Yep.
And so you have to be able to adjust and you have to be able to do that. Now we have a couple of players that we can play small at the 5 with Keith and Mike.
Yeah, I see the Cavs doing that where LeBron's in the middle and they've got, Crowder and Korver out there and then D out there. It's just basically, it almost reminds me of like pickup basketball where you don't necessarily have a low post guy and you just go with your best 5.
You just go with your best 5. If the best 5 players play, and that's a tough 5, right? You got LeBron playing the 5. So I'm matching up with that. We didn't do a very good job last game when we scored 57.
Coach, I know you've been around the NBA a lot, and they're all pros, and I get it, and anybody can beat anybody. But Coach Jason Bishop would have come into the locker room after the loss to the Mavs and going, I can't believe we lost to the Mavs. Now, I know that you're more professional than that, so I'm wondering what your response was. What was your reaction to that?
Pretty close. We were upset, pissed off. We were disappointed. Yeah. It was going to be, we had a great win a couple of nights before in Toronto.
Right.
And I thought, okay, now we're going to get some rhythm. We got 4 games at home. We feel comfortable at home, and then we laid an egg. We didn't play the defense. We didn't guard. Guys were getting around us. They were getting to the free throw line, making threes. They out-toughed us, and that's disappointing. That's unacceptable.
Wizards off to an 8 start. Since you mentioned the LeBron game scoring 57, what do you do as a coach? Like, what was your game plan going in with LeBron? Because he's such a good passer. I think it's tough to double him, and they have such good players. But when a guy's going for 40, 50 points, what do you do?
Well, it's funny. I was like, before the game, I said, just to our coaching staff, I said, hey, we're going to make him score. If he gets 50 a night, so be it. You know, it's just going to be his night. I didn't think he was going to get 57 though. But the thing is, you know what? Even when he had 57, we still had a chance to win the game. But really, what lost the game for us? We gave up 32 points in transition. They were like the faster, athletic, quicker, younger team than us. They were running up and down the court, and we only had, I think, 12 points in transition for ourselves. So that's a 20-point difference right there. But LeBron, I mean, when he's going like that, the easy thing to do, people would say, and even we would say double team, but he could score in so many different spots, and if you double team him, and he's such a great, I mean, he's not a good passer, he's a great passer. He sees over every double team, and he has the quickness to get around double team, so it puts you in a tough position. He was making, I think he made 11 tough twos, and normally most guys would make, 35 to 40% of those shots.